Hey besties, Blake Lively's lawsuit has completely taken over the internet. But at this point, some people are over it. They just want the whole thing to disappear. Here's the latest twist. Even after Blake filed a second amended complaint, which could have been challenged with a motion to dismiss, Wayfair, Justin, and the rest of the crew didn't try to shut it down that way. Instead, they filed something else than answer. And along with that, Jed Wallace filed his own motion to dismiss. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Their response includes several affirmative defenses. In plain English, that means they're basically telling the court, even if everything Blake says is 100% true, there's still no legal reason for us to be held liable. We've talked about some of these issues before, like, can you even sue for retaliation after a contract is over? Once the deal is done, the film's released, and the promotional tour is wrapped, is there even legal ground for a claim? Blake's employment ended back in August 2024, right after the promo wrapped. So, if they're doing anything now, months later, is that still retaliation? And what about Blake's own behavior? The defense is suggesting she doesn't exactly have clean hands in this situation. Let's imagine if she fabricated parts of the story, caused chaos on set, and possibly damaged the film's production. Could she still demand money in court for damages she might have caused herself? Justin's team is saying absolutely not, and here's how they're backing that up. Fails to state a claim. They argue Blake hasn't provided facts that legally add up to a lawsuit. Even if her story is true, it doesn't meet the law's requirements. Basically, your complaint doesn't legally matter. It's not a case the court can act on. This could be setting up for a summary judgment later, which could end the case before trial. Lack of standing, they're questioning whether Blake even has the right to sue Justin at all. Their argument, even if something happened to you, I'm not the one responsible. Maybe she no longer had a contract with him, or maybe she waived her right to sue somewhere along the way. Waiver and timing. They say Blake acted in a way that contradicts her current claims, agreeing to certain things, staying silent when she should have spoken up, and waiting too long to file. Since the film wrapped and promotion ended, Justin argues she's already given up the right to complain now. Estoppel, in legal terms, this means past actions can block someone from making claims now. They're saying her previous behavior doesn't match her lawsuit story. She can't have it both ways. If her actions were actually about gaining control of the film, that could completely undermine her legal position. Unclean hands, my personal favorite. They're telling the court Blake acted badly herself, possibly fabricating harassment claims to gain control. In law, if you've acted unethically in the dispute, you can't then turn around and ask the court for justice. From a PR angle, this paints Blake as dishonest and manipulative, a major credibility hit. And then, the First Amendment defense. Remember, Blake has been going after content creators and accusing people online of joining in on a smear campaign. Justin's team is framing that as an attempt to silence critics. They argue that even if he made negative statements, like calling her a bully or saying she was weaponizing feminism, that's protected free speech. Translation: you can't sue me just because your feelings are hurt, Blake. Some defenses even go further, saying she did this to herself, failing to reduce her own damages, not acting in time, and not suffering any real harm from Justin. They've also added a brand new point: jurisdiction. They say her California-based claims don't hold up because she hasn't alleged any wrongful actions that actually happened in California. If the alleged harassment happened in New Jersey, the lawsuit should be there, not in California. They even point out she might have forum shopped to California just to take advantage of certain laws. In the end, Justin is asking the court to dismiss the case with prejudice, meaning she can't refile, and to order Blake to pay his costs. He's also asking for a jury trial if any claims do move forward, a sign he might be aiming for summary judgment so he can introduce discovery evidence later, like text messages, emails, and deposition testimony that could weaken her case further. We've got no HR complaints on file. Here's what we do have. The summary judgment stage allows you to pull together every piece of discovery you've gathered and show the court. There's nothing here. No real disputes. No facts left for a jury to weigh. Everything she's brought forward, already settled in the evidence, meaning the law requires these claims to be dismissed. The defense lays it out claim by claim, each of her allegations met with a direct counterpoint. And let me tell you, summary judgments are beasts. They can run hundreds of pages, packed with deposition transcripts, discovery records, and every shred of evidence possible. This is where he can say to the court, California laws don't apply here. Nothing happened in California. She's barred from bringing this claim. He might even submit her own contract showing she waived certain rights. Now Blake has a history. She loves using inflated legal threats to push for what she wants. Demand letters, lawyer warnings, threats of lawsuits. This is her go-to strategy. And while some judges might call that tough negotiation, in reality, it poisons the employer-employee relationship. Because if every request comes with an "or I'll see you at the end," there's no real good faith discussion, just pressure and fear. From the start, he's been stuck between a rock and a hard place. Honestly, he probably should have cut ties with her back when she refused to cooperate on set. But he couldn't, or at least, he felt he couldn't, because Sony wanted her, WME wanted her, and firing her might have looked like retaliation for her claims. She played that position masterfully, knowing he couldn't fire her without it seeming retaliatory, and using that leverage to push for agreements, even on things that didn't happen. From day one, he's been forced into defense mode, and he's still there today. But here's the kicker. I don't think this case ever sees a trial. He doesn't appear to believe there's anything worth trying. Sure, she says she wants a trial, but his official court response says the opposite. He'll only go to trial on claims that can be tried, not ones that are barred by law. That means, if her federal claims fail because she skipped the required administrative steps, they're gone in summary judgment. If the California claims fall because nothing happened there, they're gone too. And if he shows retaliation never happened, those claims vanish as well. Defending yourself isn't retaliation. Having a legal strategy to counter false allegations online isn't retaliation. In fact, in her own deposition, Blake told Justin's attorney that her retaliation claim boiled down to his countersuit and public comments by Brian Friedman that she felt hurt her reputation. But here's the thing, the law doesn't care about feelings, it cares about facts. Publishing court documents on a website isn't defamation, it's public record. And while her defamation claim got dismissed, it wasn't because the court found bad faith, it was because of litigation privilege. Simple as that. Not retaliation.
So, what do you think?
Will the judge see through this and realize the claims are baseless? Could we see a summary judgment in November that shuts it all down? And wouldn't it be poetic justice if Blake ended up paying his attorney's fees? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and tap the bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching. Bye, bestie.